Market Prospects, delivering timely information and education to prairie farmers for over 25 years. Market Prospects is brought to you by the University of Saskatchewan's Department of Bioresource Policy, Business and Economics, and these sponsors. Log on to marketprospects.usask.ca to view past programs and for information on upcoming programs.
This week in our Market Prospects interview, we take a close look at what's ahead for lentils and chickpeas. Joining us from Winnipeg is Marlene Boersch, partner with Mercantile Consulting Venture. Welcome, Marlene.
Very good to talk to you again.
Right off the top then, can you please review last year's lentil production in Canada and the current global market conditions? Then please comment on how you see the rest of the crop year playing out for exports and prices.
Well, as you know, we had a pretty good production year on all crops, and lentils certainly we are no exception. We think we had about 1,700 pound yield. Some people think even up to 1,750. And so we managed to produce a 1.8 million ton lentil crop. And I think we are very fortunate because the pulse market are not oversupplied really when you look at the global situation. And I think, we have seen good things in the export markets to date. So 1.8 million production with the carryout, we probably have around 2.1 million tons available. And the reason that it's not more burdensome is that last year we managed to draw down the carryout that we had been carrying around with us, so to speak, for the last 3 years. And this is really changing things. Most of the carryout in the world actually was borne by Canada, so we have a much cleaner slate. I think we will do 1.6 million tons exports. Some people say 1.7. I'm a little bit careful on having an aggressive number because of transportation. It's no secret that our problems are affecting all crops. Year-to-date numbers, and we only have official numbers to the end of November, indicate we have shipped about 604,000 tons. That's actually a very good beginning. I know at the crop production show, it was indicated in the market outlook that we're actually very much behind on lentil exports. I don't think that's correct, and perhaps they had only looked at bulk shipments. But if you include the container shipments, it's a very good start. And particularly for red lentils, round numbers, probably 380,000 tons shipped. And a little bit less for the green lentils, though all green lentil varieties combined, should occupy about half of the acres. So particularly red lentils have seen very, very good performance. If we can keep shipments up, and I don't think you can talk about markets this year without bracketing it with some concerns around transportation. I think 1.6 million tons in grasp, certainly, if we can keep any speed forward. And that should give us a fairly contained carryout of about 250,000 tons. So if we can ship, if we can perform, we're looking at a fairly good year.
So what would your forecast be for acres and prices for large green and red lentils for the upcoming crop year?
I think overall we'll probably see an increase in lentil acres. And the reason is that prices times expected yield work fairly well relative to other crops. And also because lentils are well priced relative to wheat. The problem with wheat is that we will see a very, very heavy burden in terms of carryout. And I think that might people lead to grow a crop that they think they can move. So I don't think it's out of the question that we have, say, a 15 to 18% increase in lentil acres. And that would put us, close to 2.8 million acres. Again, the carryout is not going to be super burdensome given we can do the shipments. And so we should have, say, 2 million to just over 2 million ton crop. And again, I would think exports should be around 1.6 million tons, round numbers for next year. In terms of prices, we have actually seen some small, and the problem is that the volume isn't big, contracting for reds anywhere from 18 to 20 cents, and in some cases slightly above that. Those would be fairly good numbers. Export companies or processors are not going to be very, very eager to have a large contracting program. I think they will accommodate a lot of the longer-term clients. But in terms of a large program, they will not have a lot of pressure to fix prices and contracts and volumes forward. Nor will importers, if they look at a very large acreage in Canada, be super concerned about having to fix production forward, having to fix some supplies forward. And so I think at those levels, the contracts that are available, they are probably not a bad mechanism for farmers to ensure some fall movement. But again, I think lentil markets are still fairly dynamic.
Let's move to the chickpea market then. What's your forecast for prairie chickpea acreage and prices for the new crop year?
I think we will see a decrease in chickpea acres, and the biggest problem is that movement has been very, very difficult. Not many people are spending a lot of time on chickpea marketing, and year to date into the end of November, we only saw about 9,000 tons moved. That's behind schedule. It makes me worried a bit about this year. And when you see such low movement numbers, I think people will be hesitant to plant larger acres. So I think we'll see, say, 140 to 150,000 acres in the coming year, which would be, a fair reduction actually from the 200,000 acres we see this year. Prices have been down over the last little while in general, both Kabuli and Desis. We grow about 2/3 Kabuli chickpeas. I think we'll probably see prices on the Kabulis. I don't know, a larger size is 9 millimeters, 28 to 30 cents.
Well, we'll be watching the lentil and chickpea markets with a lot of interest in the coming months. Thank you very much, Marlene.
Yeah, you're welcome.